Coach, how you doing, Coach? Coach, I'll die for you, Coach. I just wanted you to believe in me. I just wanted you to believe in me. Let's go to the Lions.
And they basically told me if I'm there, it's a possibility they're going to take me. So I had my phone right next to me, ringer on all the way up. Kept checking it, I was nervous, but when I got that call, it was just, I don't even know how to describe it, the feeling.
The Lions take one of my favorite players in this draft class, Isaac Tesla out of Arkansas. I'm giving this an A+. Almost 6'4", 214 pounds, ran a 4.43 in the combine.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, Lions Talk Live. It is a Tuesday morning show edition, and guess what? It is July. It is the starting month for training camp for every NFL team, let alone your Detroit Lions. We're going to start a few days before everybody else because, as you know, later this month, guess what? Also, we have the first preseason game in all the NFL. That's right, Chargers, Lions in the Hall of Fame game, and you are less than a full month away from that kickoff taking place. We're going to dive in a couple things with the 5 headlines now. We're going to dive into, as you can probably tell, with the main topic of the day, something I didn't really want to dive into, talk about ad nauseum today. I feel like we've just beaten this thing to death in this offseason. But as you guys know, a big trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers happened yesterday. And there is, if you believe CBS Sports, if you believe Fox Sports, ESPN, and everyone in between, there is the potential for the Steelers to make another big move. And yes, the Detroit Lions have been named in that. I'm not here to say that it will happen. I'm not here to say it won't happen. I guess we'll analyze the facts, analyze the truth, just the facts, Jack, and see what everybody's thoughts are on it. Remember, I'm not here to say it will happen, but I do want to hear what you guys have to say about it. Me, myself, and I personally, if the Lions made the move for Watt, I think we can all agree this Detroit Lions defense would be pretty dang good, pretty scary good. Now, if they don't make the move, I don't think it's the end of the day also either for the team because I do think there's a lot of talent. If the Lions do make the move, I guess the other real big question you would have to all ask is how much would it cost to acquire TJ Watt? We'll break that down during the main topic of the day. We'll get into that with you guys and then obviously also our special guest of the day, Anthony from Roared Lions UK. So with all that done said, let's get a couple things out of the way, some house cleaning calls. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Making that march for 13,900 subs, and we are, 38 subs away from it. So if you can assist with that, I would be thankful and really appreciate it. Also, if you have a half second of time, it doesn't cost you even a penny. And yes, pennies are becoming very rare nowadays. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but most certainly never least, maybe you're looking for something to read. Maybe you like historically accurate but fictional tales, and you like Native American, Japanese cultures and everything in between, then go ahead and go to Amazon.com or wherever you find great reading literature. Order yourself a copy of Kajora book. It is the first in a 9-part series. And again, this deals with Native American, Japanese cultures, ninjas, warriors, etc., everything in between. If you like that type of time frame, about 1,000 years before Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492, then maybe check it out. If you like it, leave a kind review. All right, all that done, let's get the show rocking and rolling and kicking off with, as you probably already knew, 5 headlines now. All right, here's a question for you real quick about the main topic of the day. The Lions did actually go out and get TJ Watt. How good would that Detroit front four be? I have to assume Watt is going to start. He'd be on one side. Hutch, I'm assuming, would be on the other side. You probably got DJ Reader in the middle, and then maybe, Tyleik Williams, the rookie, wins out the other spot on opening day. How many sacks could that unit put up this year? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I've got my personal thoughts. You know what? I'll do you one better. How many sacks do you think Watt would get? How many sacks do you think Aiden Hutchinson would get in that scenario? Who do you think leads the team? Or is it somebody else, not one of those guys or one of the guys on the front four? All right, let's get into this. Detroit defensive tackle Broderick Martin facing critical training camp to keep his Lions career alive. Story by Jeff Risdon of Lions Wire. Jeff Risdon knows a thing or two about the Detroit Lions, covered the team for a billion years and on a full-time basis, and I think he's 100% right. Yeah, this is probably not a shocking headline to anybody out there watching the show right now. Broderick Martin is he might not even be a Lion, say, 6 weeks from now. I think we have to address it. It's probably closer to being true than not being true. It's no disrespect to the kid. It just so far, last year was a damning statement against him. Rookie year, I think we all get it. He had a few injuries, had to learn a whole lot, come from a small college, could get away with just being the biggest kid on the field, whatever you want to say. He got by on his athleticism. Year 2, though, when the Lions had everybody and their mother out on that defensive front, and the team still didn't put him on the field, still signing people from other teams' practice squads, etc. This was not a good look for Broderick Martin. He is fast, he is strong, he is many different things, but he is not on the field. Broderick Martin might end up being, at the end of the day, the biggest bust that this regime has drafted, and especially since they traded up for him. Broderick Martin was a surprising choice as a third rounder, if you guys all remember, in the 23 draft. While Martin was a familiar name to many of the draft analyst communities, there are a lot of people that also thought the Western Kentucky product just wasn't ready for the NFL. A lot of people had him as a 5th-round pick. Lions clearly, for some reason, thought he was more. Maybe they just thought he could coach him up. And who knows? He wouldn't, if things turned around for this kid right here and right now, he would not be the first player in NFL history, nor the first player for the Detroit Lions, let alone this regime, to take a couple years to kind of get things right. Nevertheless, Lions Brad Holmes saw high-end potential in Martin. Flashes of brute power and long arm strength were certainly there. And anybody who watches tape of him in college or even at the scouting combine could say that, yeah, you can understand why somebody would want to go get him. Whatever we want to say, though, his first 2 seasons in Detroit, it just hasn't worked. Martin needed time to adjust to life in the USA and to make the adjustment from college, how about that, to the NFL, get his body right. Now, we can all say that about him. His body, well, he had a ton of power, a ton of mass, etc. in college. He has slimmed down. He has bulked up. He has muscled up. He has become a Terminator when you look at him out there compared to when he was a rookie. All that said in the day, he's spent more time working on his diet, amongst other things. Can he make it? That's the big question I think everybody has to ask. If he makes it, how good is the depth for this team? How much smarter does Brad Holmes look if this guy really does pan out? If you had a guess right now, Duke Crew, and I know we've talked about this a bit, but do you think Broderick Martin makes it or not? I don't put Broderick. How about Martin yes or Martin no? Do you think he makes the 53-man roster? I personally hope he does because I think the kid is crazy athletic. Just has to get it right. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, let's go over to Lions Linebacker Corp ranks 2nd in the NFL. SI.com. Story by Christian Boer with this one. Who would have guessed that a year ago at this time, getting ready to start training camp? You had so many people saying Jack Campbell was a bust. Alex Anzalone is kind of meh. Derek Barnes was even worthy of the NFL. Because remember, there were a whole lot of people his first and second year in the league that thought this kid was a bust. Derek Barnes, that is. But now that you get to where we are today, the Lions, per this report, have the 2nd-rated linebacking core in the NFL. And I've been meaning to get to this story for a couple days, so sorry I haven't been able to do it. But with traveling and everything else, it just didn't work out. As Kelvin Shepard takes over the Detroit Lions defensive unit, perhaps there are some arguments to be made that the linebacking core is the strongest on the entire team. Let that sink in, especially when you look at the safety room, the cornerback room, the defensive front. While I think we can all agree the Lions maybe have some question marks about the defensive end spot opposite Aiden Hutchinson, we can also say that the interior defense line is pretty dang strong. Aiden Hutchinson expected to make a big comeback this year. Who knows how good he'll be? We'll have to wait and see. The safety room, though, I have to think, as far as our starters, if that's not the best combo in the NFL, I want to know who is. Cornerback room, I get there's some questions there, but I would say I don't know if we'll be upgraded over last year as far as the starters, but the overall depth for the secondary, or at least the cornerback room, is looking better than it was last year. But per this report, Jack Campbell has been an absolute find for the team Pro Football Focus chimed in, said he was he was basically 2 times better or in his second year than he was his rookie year, and that led the NFL. They broke it on down. He said Pro Football Focus said that his 78.7 Pro Football grade in 2024 ranked him as 10th, and he was just one of 5 qualifiers who earned at least a 74 Pro Football Focus grade in run defense and coverage. That's the key right there with Jack Campbell's ascension. Everybody else who was a rookie linebacker the same year as him did not make nearly the jump. He is basically 2 times better than everybody else in that same category. Now, when it comes to somebody who's a complete player, we all talk about Derek Barnes. He can get that to the quarterback. He can shut down the run. He's not good in pass coverage. Alex Anzalone, very good in pass coverage. He's okay in run defense. Jack Campbell is kind of like the perfect blend between them both. And across the NFL, he ranks 5th per this report overall in being able to shut down both. So I get there are some people in the Duke crew that have their question marks about Jack Campbell, wish would have drafted somebody else. But let's also be fair. In 2 years, he apparently, from multiple different analysts, outlets, whatever you want to say, he's a borderline top 10 linebacker. I had him in my top 200 in the NFL. Top 200 players in the NFL. I did not have him a top 10 linebacker. I want to say I had him a number 12 or something like that. I'm going off memory here, so don't hold me to it. But either way, when you put them all together, the Lions rank as the second best linebacking group out there. And this is going to be a group that right behind them, you have one of the best safety combos in the NFL and just maybe emerging defensive front with a lot of rotational pieces. Here's another question for everybody in the comments section. Just how good could this Lions defense be? And this is without even the main topic of the day. I'm starting to think more and more there's a lot of corroborating evidence. The Detroit Lions defense this year might just be one of the most angry and deep units across the entire league. Maybe a top 3 or 2 unit. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, what they do on the field. Kelvin Shepard's got a whole lot of toys to play with, way more than AG had when he first started in Detroit. But now, what can he do with those toys? I'm going to wait and see, but I think the Lions are going to get after some quarterbacks this year. So that's my personal opinion, of course. All right, next of the 5 glorious headlines now. Why Jared Goff is again best quarterback in the NFC North, SI.com, story by Johnny Macaron. Goff, when he first got to Detroit, I think most people can agree there was 0 expectations for him to be here, a couple years later. They, was going to kind of just hold the spot down until the Lions could draft a replacement. But a crazy thing happened about midway point through Jared Goff's rookie year with the Detroit Lions. He started putting up some numbers. He started hitting some wide receivers, scoring some touchdowns, taking care of the ball, all sorts of things. And the Lions ended that first year, I guess you could say, on a bit of a win streak. They won 3 games out of the last 5 games, a couple real big upsets, and Goff was a big part of it. He finished that year, and I'm, again, going off memory, so don't yell and scream if I'm not 100% accurate with it. But I want to say in that second half of the year, when they switched offensive coordinators, Goff finished 4th. If you look just at, I think it was 8 games, he finished 4th in the NFL in QBR over that time. The second and third year, obviously, we know he's been an MVP front runner and candidate, and per this report, it's expected that he will do so again. You break down the NFC North, here's what we got. J.J. McCarthy, more or less a rookie. He's 22 years old. Hey, the Vikings, if they hit with this, they're going to be crazy good probably for a while and on a rookie deal. So I'm personally hoping, no disrespect to J.J. McCarthy, I'm hoping he falls on his face every game out there because, that's good for the Detroit Lions. I hope he's great at least against other teams, just not Detroit. Maybe that's the more kind way to put it. Caleb Williams, you see all the potential, all this, all that, whatever you want in a quarterback, he's there with it. But it just hasn't led to wins. Maybe it was the prior coaching staff. Maybe it's the prior offense. Maybe it's the fact that they don't have any kind of offensive line. Maybe they'll have one this year. Who knows? There's a whole lot of maybes. I think we can all agree. If Ben Johnson can coach him up, if the offensive line in Chicago stands up, then he's got a chance to improve. Where will he be at the end of the day? I don't know. I love him, obviously, because he's a USC guy. But again, I'm rooting against him 2 games a year at least. All right, Jordan Love, man, talk about helter-skelter. This guy looks great some weeks, looks terrible other weeks. Could any of these 3 guys, these 3 quarterbacks, ascend beyond Jared Goff? Yes, I know everybody's going to say all three of them are more mobile. All of them can outrun Goff, any day of the week. Maybe if they tied one leg behind their back, they could still outrun Goff. That might be true. But here's what we do know. Jared Goff is one of the fewest quarterbacks in NFL history that's ever been able to achieve multiple different things across this league. Taking two teams to a league championship game, going to a Super Bowl, being an MVP candidate in over 70% of his seasons. That's something that gets overlooked, I think, when it comes to Goff, more often than not. The vast majority of his career, he has been each and every season in the MVP conversation. So even though he's played on some bad teams, even though he's obviously gone through some trepidation, Jared Goff is still, the vast majority of time, 70% of the time, whatever it is, he is in the running at the end of the year for the MVP. Maybe it's this offense coordinator. Maybe it's that one. Maybe it's because he's got this talent or that talent. But at the end of the day, if you're around enough of that talent, you are a part of that talent conversation. There's always going to be people that throw shade at him. There's always going to be people that don't like him. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, last season, Jared Goff might have been his best in his career, although I get you could kind of Scooby-Dooing it, splitting hairs with it. Goff threw for, we're just going to round down here and say 4,600 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. And as we all know, out of those 12 interceptions, 5 of them came in one game. And yes, there's a lot of different reasons for it. Didn't have a great day. Probably forgot to drink his Mountain Dew before the game. Goff does face a challenge in 2025, an offensive line in flux. Ben Johnson has left, a new offensive coordinator, John Morton's in, and yes, you have a monster schedule in front of you. What will happen this year? If history is accurate with Jared Goff, it's going to be another MVP season. So, MVP type season. How about that? All right, next to the 5 headlines now. 3 bold predictions for the Detroit Lions ahead of the 2025 season. The heavy story by Jordan J. Wilson. Man, that sounds like a comic book villain if ever I've ever heard one. All right, but anyways, get back to the story. 3 bold predictions from Wilson. Let's get into it, and let me scroll down the screen and get to the right story here. So, all right, number 1, Jared Goff will regress after 2024 Pro Bowl season. Could I see this happening? Maybe to some degree. He had the second best completion percentage of his career at 72.4. Man, that's laser hot, but we all get it. There were games where he didn't even miss a pass. Will that improve? I'd say statistically speaking, the odds are that will regress. As far as his 37 touchdowns, his 4,629 yards passing, yes, it is possible all those numbers come down, but I also think this prediction could be a little misleading. Some of those numbers may come down because the Detroit Lions are more successful running the ball. If you get more yards on the ground, there's less typically available during the air. The other thing I would say about that, though, is the Lions defense should be much better. And that's even without the potential of the main topic of the day. If the defense gets better, I think the offense has the ball more, and maybe perhaps there's more yards to be had during the air while also on the ground. He finished 5th. Goff finished 5th in the MVP voting last year, highlighting just how valuable he is for this team. And I do think he'll be in the running again this year. All right, next to the 3 bold predictions for the Lions. Aiden Hutchinson will win Comeback Player of the Year. You think about what might have been with Aiden Hutchinson. 7.5 sacks in whatever it was, 6 games last year. And I know a bunch of people are going to say, well, he had multiple sacks in this game, that game. I want you to look back at anybody who leads the league in the NFL or sets records. When don't they have multiple sacks in a game or have big games here, quieter games there? A lot of it comes down to who you're playing, schemes, setups. There's a lot of factors that go into that. I don't disrespect any player who puts up numbers because, you still put up the numbers. Hutchinson this year, will he put up more? I don't know, but I do think there is a lot of potential for this Lions defense because what I'm anticipating out of Kelvin Shepard to be a more bold plan as far as how to get after the quarterback, manipulating the front 7, setting up different schemes. I think Hutchinson, do I think he's going to have like 25 sacks this year? Probably not. Can I see him having 15 or so? Yes, I can. And that would be it would be his best season in the NFL. That would put him probably in the top third of NFL pass rushers. Who knows? Maybe in the top 15%, somewhere around there. If he gets anywhere near that metric, the Lions probably have themselves a Comeback Player of the Year in Aiden Hutchinson. All right, last of his 3 bold predictions. Lions will win the NFC North for the third straight year. And I'd say there's a whole lot of truth to this one. Could it be somebody else supplants them? It's possible. I do think the most talented team outside Detroit, when it comes from player 1 through 53, I do think it's the Minnesota Vikings. But again, they've got question marks at the biggest position in all of sports, the quarterback position. If J.J. McCarthy's not right, that team's not going to do what they did last year. Now, with that also being said, I think the next best team, at least if you had to ask me right here, right now, it's probably the Chicago Bears. And then me just trying to be as forthright as it can be, I think the Bears have made a lot of good moves. I don't know if they're going to be overcome the Lions. I think the Lions still win the North. And then the Green Bay Packers, I would probably feel better about saying they're number 2 in the division. But Jordan Love is so up and down. One game he looks absolutely great. The next game he looks like he shouldn't even be in the NFL. If he can't figure out the quarterback's position, that's probably a big knock against you. And I do think their roster is still great. The Packers is. It's regressed a little bit in my eyes. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't paid enough attention to them. All right. And then I guess I left out one of the 5 headlines now. Well, how about that? Let me real quick fix that real quick. All right. I thought I had this in the comments section for us, but apparently not. And there we go. All right, Lions star blunt Super Bowl comment is more proof this window is closing. Fan side story by John Bueller. I disagree with this statement. I don't think the Lions Super Bowl window is closing in any way, shape, or form. Now, let's be fair, though. They don't last forever, the Super Bowl windows. But when you look at how young this team is, how well they've drafted and developed players, I just don't see that slowing down anytime soon. I know some people say, well, Goff is in, whatever it is, 30 years older, in his 30s now. I'm not going to give an exact age. Otherwise, if I'm, wrong by a couple months, somebody's going to light me up in the comment section. But anyway, here's what we can say. I think Goff is only entering his peak. His peak is his perfection as an NFL quarterback. I actually think he's going to get better for the next couple of years, assuming there's no massive injury or something like that. So start right there. The most important position in all of football, he's getting better, not getting worse. The Lions offensive line, I know this won't be widely accepted, but in my opinion, Lions just got a lot more athletic and mobile on the offensive line with Zettler stepping down. And yes, Frank Ragnow, a warrior through and through, should be at the very least the Lions Hall of Fame. Maybe we'll see if he gets into the NFL Hall of Fame, although I would say that's a little bit of a long shot. I think the Lions are going to get a lot more athletic and powerful there. Frank Ragnow was fairly limited the last few years of his career. The Lions wide receiver core, I think they're going to be more dangerous this year than they've been in a while. And I could go through team by team, all the different parts of the team. I think the Lions are just entering yet another 3-year window where they can get to the Super Bowl. But per this story, Brian Branch came out and just said, hey, I feel like we're better than last year. We're hungry, and I feel that's going to separate us. Our chemistry is on a whole nother level. Now, I'm not going to go into everything Brian Branch said because we kind of covered this yesterday to a certain degree, but Brian Branch told Rainer Saban of the Detroit Free Press his thoughts on it, had a sit down with him, thinks that, yes, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, they're gone. It's going to impact the team, but he really does believe in John Morton and Kelvin Shepard. He doesn't think the Lions are going to miss a beat. We're going to miss those old guys, but you know what? The new guys doesn't mean they're a zero. And he thinks the Lions team this year is the deepest he's seen in the NFL. He's seen a few teams. Yes, he's been in the league 2 years, but when you look across the NFL in that amount of time, Brian Branch has been around. Right now until the season starts, it's all speculation how deep this Lions team is. But if we're all right, if we're all correct with it, let me reword that. Just how deep is this team? Can you think of a team in the last few years that has been deeper than this Lions team? There's a whole lot of depth at every spot on this roster, everything outside of maybe the quarterback position, because to be fair, we don't really know what Kyle Adams or Hendon Hooker has yet. We assume we know, but we don't know. The Lions secondary is probably the deepest we've seen in a Detroit Lions uniform. Probably since the mid-90s. Those teams had some real good depth out there. As far as the front seven, I think it's pretty rock solid. The front seven on offense, also with the running backs and the offensive line, I think Brian Branch is right. This might just be the deepest Lions team out there. The chemistry is off the charts good, and it just might end up being a trip to the Super Bowl. All right, I babbled on with all these topics way too much, so let's go ahead and shake and bake on over to the main topic of the day. I haven't played that piece in a minute, so I figured why not change it up from the other main topic of the day. All right, so yesterday, most of you guys know, a few billion of you guys messaged me about it, and I don't have a problem with it when you guys do bring stories to my attention in case I miss them. But yes, you had the Miami Dolphins and the Pittsburgh Steelers make a trade. Jalen Ramsey, some people have thought maybe the Lions have been in play. To be fair, the Lions did admit, I want to say a month and a half ago, that they had a conversation about Jalen Ramsey. I would not have been upset if we added him because he probably would have taken over the Iffy Melifano role. He probably would have also split a lot of time as the star backer, safety, corner with Brian Branch. But at the same time, I just don't think you're going to give him whatever he's getting paid, $26-27 million a year. I didn't see the Lions doing that. But with all the trades that went down and the new contracts that went out, a part of those trades, it started a floodgate of people speculating, should Brad Holmes make the move for TJ Watt? TJ Watt, as you guys know, every pass rusher this offseason on any team, if they can just spell their own name, which is something I can't do, and just be somebody who can get consistent pressure after the quarterback, that they're going to be mentioned to the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are the it team. They are America's team. Everybody wants to see us win the Super Bowl. Everybody is speculating that this player and that player wants to be a Detroit Lion. And to be fair, you've heard Myles Garrett say he would like to play for the Detroit Lions. You've heard, man, I don't know, everybody else that I cannot think of off the top of my noggin, they've been mentioned in the same breath as the Detroit Lions. So the good part is anybody with a pulse wants to be a Detroit Lion. You couldn't say that once upon a time. Now every free agent, every trade bait, whatever you want to say, wants to come to this team. TJ Watt, I think we all know he is a pretty dang good player. Whether or not the Lions would give up enough to get the Pittsburgh Steelers star, that's a big question. But this is also from Adam Schefter. Sources, in recent weeks, multiple teams have been discussing whether they can afford to trade for the Steelers standout TJ Watt, who skipped the team's most recent minicamp. Pittsburgh hasn't shown any willingness to deal Watt so far, but he's unhappy and his contractual situation is still undecided. Now, Schefter does go out and mention a couple of those teams that apparently have been mentioned about acquiring him, and guess what? The Detroit Lions are on that list. Guys, I have no idea if Detroit would make the move. I have no idea if they're really interested in him, but I would also get this. Brad Holmes would not be much of a GM if he didn't at least make a phone call about him. I do not know if he's made a phone call about him, but I would assume if he is worth his salt, if worth his weight in gold, if he's just doing the prototypical GM daily routine, then yes, he's probably talked to the Pittsburgh Steelers about it. What Pittsburgh wants for him, if they're going to part ways with him, I don't know. I would assume, but I don't know. You're probably looking at a first rounder, if not a first rounder, a second rounder, and some other cheddar, some other picks, maybe some players. The Pittsburgh Steelers, we get it. It appears to be a little bit in pickup mode here, trying to acquire players. Miami Dolphins, I know why they made the moves. They are broke. They are in cap, I guess you could say, hell. They needed to get rid of salary, and they did some of that yesterday. As soon as they trade those players, and for the most part, got new deals or reworked deals for the Pittsburgh Steelers to try to help them out. So what does the Pittsburgh Steelers now do now that their cap space has come down? Can they give TJ what he wants? Is he going to be the next guy that just uses the Detroit Lions and 20 other teams to rework his deal to try to get more bang for his buck? I think all can be true. All right, guys, let's get over to you guys, man. I've rambled on about a whole lot of things this morning, but at the end of the day, scale 1 to 10, what do you think the likelihood is that the Lions try to make a move for TJ Watt? Me, myself, and I'll put it a 5. I'm sure they make some calls. I don't know if they make a move, though. All right, let me scroll to the top of the screen and get to you guys. 1, 2, 3. I'm almost there. I'm running down the field. I'm trying to get open. Trying to get to the top. And here we go. JDC, morning all, and back at you. Anymore. Good morning, Coach Dan of the Duke. What a team. Exclamation point. What a podcast. What time, be a Lions fan. Woo! Good to see you as always, Henry. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. I would love this to go down, but I don't see Holmes giving up what Pitts would want. Yeah, Pittsburgh's going to want a bit. What that's going to be to acquire him, I don't know, but that Lions front four, it would look pretty nice, wouldn't it? Robert, greetings, salutations, Dan and crew, back at you. Anymore? I am heading to Virginia tomorrow morning to visit my daughter. I'll be listening. Go Lions. Hey, have a good, safe trip, my friend. Go have some fun times with your daughter. Just greetings, salutations. No doubt, Big Bad Brad has picked up the phone and talked to the Steelers about TJ. He would bring a lot to our defense. He would. I mean, he's more or less a linebacker. I don't know his exact weight, but I think you could probably make him a defensive end full time if you want to. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. What? Ooh, I see what you did there. Is the likelihood? Question mark. Woo! And good morning, Drake. No. We won't give up much to get him. I think we draft too well to get a guy who's growing with a growing injury history. He does, to your point, Drake. TJ Watt does have a little bit of a growing injury history the last few years. I want to say he missed some time last year. I know he missed some time the year before. So maybe that's a deterring factor for teams to want to get him and then obviously have to give him a bigger contract. Michael, wow, another pass rusher. How many is too many for this Lions defense? The whole defensive line is going to be a pass rushing nightmare for the opponent. Question mark, exclamation point, laughing out loud. It would be nice to have him. We would be pretty deep. I still think at the end of the day, it's Zadarius Smith in Detroit, but it obviously hasn't happened yet. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Missed the crew, but back home now. Let's get him. What would be insane for our defense line? It would be. You think about all the pressure you could do. Probably you could free up a lot of people to drop into coverage versus having to go after the quarterback with blitzes. Just, if we trade for him, maybe JJ will join us too. Laughing out loud, seriously, doubt Brad would give up what Pitt wants. Yeah, and me too, man. I don't think JJ Watt's coming out of retirement. I don't think we're trading for TJ, but you know what? Been wrong before. Tiller the Hun, this is just like Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, etc. They want money and extensions. Pick you want Watt or Hutchinson long term. Pick who you want. I'll go with that. I think you're going to keep Hutchinson. I don't think you're going to acquire Watt, but you guys did have some questions about it yesterday, so I'm trying to give some answers. Tori, it's July. The season begins this month. Exclamation point. I'm so excited about this year. 100%. Yeah, later this year, training camp opens. Preseason game hits the field, so the whole shebang-a-bang. France, dang, you're right. 3 weeks from now, we break into camp. We do. I want to say it's on the 20th, the Lions start, and then what is it, I don't remember the date of the Hall of Fame game. I want to say it's like the 28th or something like that. Hookadoo, the rumor for Watt was flying around months ago, and now it's back. You're right. But with the trade yesterday, I'm guessing that just kind of reignited a lot of the rumors and speculations. Susan Scott said, good morning, everyone. I am just so ready for the off season to be over and the team to get back on the field. You are correct with that. I think we're all, we've been in the off season for 3.5 months now, something like that. I think we're all kind of itching for the game to be here. That trade yesterday got everybody guessing about. Yeah, there you go. So small. Anyone else see more and more AI-based channels about the Lions and everything else? Yes. I know there was a story that came out, I want to say it was over the weekend, that YouTube was demonetizing channels that are basically just AI-driven movie shorts or something like that. I don't know. Movie trailers. About fake trailers for movies or whatever, and something about that. I didn't really pay much attention, but to your point, AI is everywhere. Gary, morning, Duke Crew, back at you. Hookadoo. Wait and see, I guess, trade tips, and yeah, basically that's all we can do. If the Lions make a move, hey, I'll be as surprised as anybody else, and I'd probably be happy to have them. All right, Stephanie, yes, it's everywhere, and now it's getting to the point where there is a challenge to tell it's AI now, so small long. Yeah, some of the AI is getting much, much cleaner looking, harder to notice. The only thing I can do to really tell the difference is just the facial components, the responses, the muscles and stuff like that. AI still hasn't mastered that, but I'm guessing it will in time. Mike the Marine Gunny, howdy, Dan and Duke Crew family. Woo! Back at you, Gunny. Always a pleasure to have you. Look at it. I agree. This AI garbage is getting out of hand. Yeah, and it is what it is. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Maybe I'm wrong. Cynthia, good morning, all. Same to you. Look at it. The AI is DDI. Ooh, could be accurate. Cynthia, good morning, all, and same to you again. Carrie, if they let Z go over money, they won't want what. That's for sure. Yeah, I guess the only thing you say, Gary, is that maybe you say the dollars, the financials behind TJ is more justified than Zadarius, although I think Zadarius is probably a better run defender than TJ Watt. To be fair, though, I don't watch the Pittsburgh Steelers enough to have an accurate assessment of the situation, but that would be at least my assumption. Five fingers ready. What would we need to give up to get him? That's a great question. I don't really know, man. I'm guessing a couple second rounders or something like that at least. Hookadoo, I was thinking the same thing there, Kerry. All right. Big Eddie, good morning all. And to you, Tori, any chance Frank Ragnow returns later this season? Question mark. Is there a chance? Absolutely. I think later in the year, if he really feels, hey, my body's okay, I can come in for like the last 3 games of the regular season and then the postseason, maybe they would sign him as a backup or something. I don't think they would give him back his starting spot. And then I guess the question becomes, would Frank Ragnow be okay being the backup? All right, Gary Davenport did it. Of course he did. Big Eddie, of course. Yeah, of course. Kim, Brad Holmes will do what is right for the team now and in the future. Take care of our own first. Steelers would want too much. I would think they do want a boatload to get him, a king's ransom, and I just don't see us paying it. So I agree with you, Kim. Amy, good morning, Dan, the Duke Crew, X-Max. Everyone have a great week. Remember to hit those buttons. Yes, if you could, please hit the like and subscribe button. Miles Mark, greetings, salutations, Lions cousins, one pride, exclamation point, woo, and back at you, Jennifer. Morning all, and morning, Jennifer. Gary, Tori Apple, I thought that all along. Yes, indeed. Pat, let's go, exclamation point, season is here. It is indeed. Non-livers, good morning, Dan and the Duke Crew, and same to you, Mary. Good morning all. Always a pleasure to have you in the chat there, Mary. Jessica, greetings, salutations. Hey, good way to start your day. Coach Rock, good morning. It's all a beautiful day to go out and mow after some Lions Talk Live. Hey, take care of the lawn before it gets too hot out there, my friend. Detroit D, good morning, Duke Crew, and same to you. Hopefully it is a great day for you, D. Sorry, I got a little tongue-tied twisted. Johnny L, hello there, and hello to you. Hookado, Miles Marr has graced us with some grit. Good morning, Miles Marr. Yeah, talk about somebody who's been through a lot the last few months. I think we all know his story. Miles Marker, man, those ice storms about 2 months ago, they did you dirty, but I'm glad you're recovering, my friend. Madli Hassanin, good morning. Coach Dan and Duke Crew, good morning to you, my friend. Hopefully, good afternoon to you, and hopefully you're chomping at the bit to see your boy out on the field. Egon, I've always felt that the frugal team management style would be so when opportunity does present itself, you can make it happen. Just my unprofessional opinion. Yeah, maybe to your point, maybe they've just been holding on to some money, waiting for the right opportunity to present itself, and now they're ready to strike. Gary Toriabo, if he doesn't come back this year, at this end of the year, that's it. Yeah, I think if Ragnow doesn't return this year, I think the likelihood of him returning in the future is probably pretty small. Hey, talk about somebody I haven't seen in a hot second. Johnny Mack is on the scene. Yo, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Have a great day and make it a great week. We're 3 weeks away from Detroit Lions football. You are correct with that, my friend. Again, good to see you. It's been a hot second. And, hey, hopefully you have a great day. Rocky, Pittsburgh probably just cleaning up money for Watt, and the Lions should pick up somehow and hopefully won't have 2 Davenports on the sidelines. Yeah. It could be that they're trying to clear house, stuff, but they brought in was it Smith and Ramsey yesterday? Smith got a new deal. I want to say they're trying to rework Ramsey's deal, although don't hold me to that. I didn't really study it a ton. Pierce, if this move does not happen, Davenport did it. Maybe you could be right with that, Pierce. Maybe if they don't make the move for TJ Watt, it's because they believe, Davenport is better than expected. Za'Darius is better than expected, or more stability. Maybe, Ahmed Hassanin is clearly further along than they anticipated. I guess all can be true. Hookadoo, top of the morning, Mr. Hassanin, or afternoon. If the afternoon in Egypt, I think it is early afternoon there, but don't hold me to it. I don't have the time thing in front of me. Leo Hutchinson will lead with 17 sacks. Watt with 10. I'd take that. Say, Coach, says Henry Moore, is Lions Talk Live your secret desire for your own TV show? Nah, I just love doing it. If somebody at a network wanted me to do this on a network, I wouldn't say no to it, but I just enjoy being up and doing it. For those who don't know, I was a full-time journalist, reporter, covering mostly sports for eons and eons, kind of just because of the industry change, got out of it a little bit, and you know what? I just kind of miss it. I do miss being an investigative reporter. Hookadoo, Pierce, anything that is questionable, DDI. Agree with that. Pierce, Hookadoo, correct. Pierce, Hookadoo, it's always Davenport's fault. Florida is going to get rained out for the 4th of July. Probably got to blame him then, right? Rondo of North Carolina, what is Martin not getting right? Technique, it's to me, without seeing him all the time, that would be what it is. His leverage is not very good. Question mark. Working as one of the others on the line, I don't think it's motor. I could be wrong. I think it's more technique, and that's why they don't put him on the field. Now, he's had 2 years to develop, so if he really doesn't get it right this preseason, I don't think he'll be aligned by the regular season. Silver Server, good morning, Coach and Owen. Same to you. Phil, good morning. And back at you, Phil. Nice new guitar in the work, it looks like. Hookadoo. He must be on vacation in Florida then, Pierce. Probably accurate. Damian, good morning. Dan the Duke, exclamation point. Looking forward to seeing Terry Arnold make that leap from last year. I think he's going to make a big one indeed. So I think him and a lot of those rookies will probably show, last year's rookies show up more. Coach Tanya K, hey, Coach and Duke Crew, may this fade. All right, may this fade. I'll go with that. And good morning to you. Hopefully it is a phenomenal start to your day. Miles Meyer, how you doing today? Question mark. Hook do already July. It is July already. Halfway through the year. Can you believe that? Phil, according to Brian Branch, the Lions defense will be invincible. I think they will. I think it's going to be a great year for the D. Coach Tony K, Grand Wealth Rising, Coach and Duke Crew, may today be a good and fun day for y'all. Exclamation point. I'm ready for the Super Bowl. Go Lions. I think it could be a Super Bowl year for us. In fact, I'll even say this. I think it will be a Detroit Lions Super Bowl year this year. I know July 1st, summer is flying by, Miles Parker. Yeah, fall will be here pretty quick here. J-Mo Lion King, Martin has a tendency to stand up. Correct with that. Instead of firing out of his stance, at most times he is easier to block when he stands up. Yeah, he loses leverage as soon as he gets up. And I think most of us, if we watched him his first 2 years in the league, when he's on the field, you see a lot of that. So I think you're spot on with that. Dre Day, Goff is the best quarterback in the NFC and third best quarterback in the league behind Mahomes and Allen. I'll take that. Silver Server AI still makes a lot of mistakes, but it is learning fast. The content is always cold and shallow though. Level very low, brings people to used to that in human language. Yeah, and there's like I said, things I notice when it's comes to facial muscle twitches and stuff that it doesn't have yet, but it will probably happen in time. Johnny L, today is my wife and my 19th anniversary. Hey, happy anniversary. Go enjoy it. Don't forget to get a good present. I want my $2 cash. Happy anniversary, Johnny and wife. Yes, indeed, my friends. JDC, Dre Forbes rocks, and he rolls. Phil, Bears have a big problem. Ben Johnson, he's more of a stealth promoter than a winner. You might be 100% accurate with that. Miles Martin, crazy legs, Goff, my boy, 100%. I think he's going to do just fine this year. Happy anniversary, Johnny L, and dear missus, says Hookadoo. I want my $2. Why would anyone need to justify Goff being best in the NFC North? Question mark. It's just how it is. I would agree with that until proven otherwise. Roseburg, congrats, Johnny. JDC, congrats to you and Mama Tricia, Johnny. I'll go with that. Egon, that's the year your wife is supposed to buy you a Iserman jersey. Happy anniversary. Go enjoy the anniversary. Dre Day. Just because you have talent around you, if you can't use them properly, it means nothing. Jared Goff. You know, there's a lot of truth to that. A lot of quarterbacks do end up with good situations with talent around them, but they don't take advantage of it or can't take care of the offense or whatever, and it all kind of implodes from there. Johnny L, thanks you guys, 100%. Cynthia, I believe this is the year of the Lions. I agree with that. I think I saw that in a Chinese prediction for this year. Chris Steele, what up, though, Duke Crew? What's up, man? Steele, how you doing, Professor? Silver Server, Caleb is good. Don't fall into wishful thinking. I don't think Ben Johnson will waste that talent. Bears are going to be very hard to beat. They got the defense, and they might have an offense. Let's go Detroit. I go with that. I think the Bears have a pretty good combination of offense and defense. Now, I will say this. I do think a few of their star players on defense are starting to hit some age peaks where they might start regressing. Gary, congratulations. Johnny L, I'll concur. JDC, Puff. Coffee and Lions Talk Live. Mary Smith, happy anniversary to you both, Johnny. Henry Moore, yes. Exclamation point. Johnny L, congratulations to you and your wife. I concur. Hookadoo, morning man of steel. Oh, yeah. Dre Day, Dan Port for comeback player of the year. Wouldn't that be something if he wins it? But it also benefits Lions because it means he had a massive season. Michael Hutch was on pace for 25 to 36 before getting injured last season. Yeah, he was having a phenomenal start to his day or his season. Dre Day, Silver Server, Dre Day. That is not impossible. No, it's not. It is not. Phil, did Broski pay you off then? You picked the Bears kind of high. It's just my opinion. I look at them overall as a team. I do like. I'll say this again. I think the Minnesota Vikings, outside of us, have the most talent on the team. It's just all going to come down to how well J.J. McCarthy does. If he's like most rookies, he's going to have some moments he don't look so great. Jordan Love in the pack, I think if he's on, they're the second best team in the division. But he's also off a lot of times. Caleb Williams, Maybe it's because he's a USC guy. Maybe I'm overhyping him a bit, but I think they've got a lot of talent overall in that team. Trey, hey, good to see you, my friend. It's been a hot second. Lions will make the playoffs, but the Packers might win the division this year. We'll find out, man. Let's hope not. J-Mo Lions King, Silver Server. I don't think Caleb struggles reading the defense, and that holds onto the ball. Yeah, it could hold onto the ball too much, but we will see. Now, talk about something I really haven't seen in a hot second. General Brown living it out. I think the Bears have a great chance of starting 0-5. Man, I hope you're right. I hope everyone in the division, outside us, of course, starts 0-20. Wouldn't that be great? Drady, Caleb needs to switch to running with Lamar. Hurts and Jalen, talented in mobility, kills accuracy. The most accurate shot is the one that he doesn't move up, and Jared has that dead eye aim Caleb can't have. All right, I'm down with that. Drady, running back it is. All right, Damon, I don't see the Packers winning the division. In fact, I see Caleb Williams having a better season than Jordan Love. I could see that too. Again, no disrespect to Jordan Love. It's just, to me, he's been in the league, 7 years now, 6 years now, something like that. He's still kind of helter-skelter with it. Anymore, why is nobody talking about Green Bay nose pickers? Do they eat it? We'll find out. Let's see, Silver Surfer. If Christian Watson gets back on the field, if Matthew Golden pans out, with those great tight ends they got, the running back is great. They have a defense. Packers are a headache. Lions better be ready. Yeah, I think we probably have to fight to win the division again for sure. But hey, we've done that each of the last few years. Courtney, what does Brian Branch know? It's not like he played for Bama. Whoops, I could be wrong. Laughing out loud. It happens. Until the hunt, I have a gut feeling that Benedict Johnson is going to sabotage the Bears. He did it with Detroit and Caleb Williams, so he can get, quote, his quarterback in the draft. Ooh, that's a thought. Kerry, 7-10 if they are lucky. Chicago, 6-11 more likely. All right, I'd be okay with that. Michael, the Lions swept the entire North last season. Why would that change now? Let's hope it doesn't change this year. JDC, getting real to D. Go Lions. Brian Branch says Lions strong, so how does that translate to Super Bowl window closing? Question mark, very odd correlation by the reporter. Maybe just trying to get a headline out there to get eyes on the story. That's the only thing I can think of. Damon, Attila, I think you that Ben's ego will eventually ruin the Bears. It could be. He needs it to be about him. Courtney, amen, exclamation point. Sweep the North again. Let's make that happen. Anymore, don't blame me. It's the coffee. It happens. Let's see, Kerry. If the Packers find a new quarterback, maybe. Phil, your name is spelled Dan. Yeah, I still work on that from times. Coach Rock, give Pittsburgh a third rounder and Martin for Watt. I'd make that move right here, right now. Let's get the pen to paper and finalize it. Silver Surfer, J-Mo Lions King sounds all correct, but Ben Johnson is going to identify his strengths, and Caleb can sure extend a play and also gain yards. It will be a heck of a season, looks like, intense games. Might be. Coach Tiny K, I agree with you, Damon. It's good to have people all thinking alike. Tailor-made media could just be saying, quote, I wouldn't mind playing in Detroit in the new bargaining chip. It does seem like that is becoming the norm. Anybody out there who's got a contract situation, hey, how about the Lions? I'd go play there. Xavier, good morning, Dan. Exclamation point, go Lions. Woo! And back at you. Till the Hun, Ben Johnson is smart and creative, a leader. I don't think he has that quality. All right. Thomas, I think other than Z-Man, we're not looking to add anyone else to the defense line. Smash that like button all. Yeah, if you guys can hit all the buttons, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and thank you for that, Thomas. Kerry, Caleb will be concussed by game 2. Let's hope so. Jim, hit that like. Thank you for that. Thomas, I hate to say this, but Chicago has 2 Super Bowls this year, and they're both against Detroit. As 2 Super Bowls. Okay, I got you. You're going to hate me for saying this, but I think they could pull out a victory on us if we're not 100% ready. Yeah, hey, we all get it. You got to be ready every given Sunday or every given game day. Otherwise, the other team probably has a real good chance. One Pride, great salutations from Texas. One Pride, back at you. JDC, tick, tick, tick. It's woo time, 100%. Xavier, hopefully the Lions get TJ Watt. I wouldn't be sad if we did. Silver, no TJ Watt. Thanks for that is a certainty. But like you always say, Coach, I've been wrong before. Yeah, sometimes you get surprised, right? Thomas, TJ Watt costs too much. Exclamation point. He will not be a Lion. Probably will cost a bit to get him. Not just to acquire him, but then to pay him. Phil, reports say the Bears team is not meshing with the new head coach. Yeah, now whether or not that's legit, whether it's just, to try to misdirect people, lead you astray, we'll have to wait and see there, Phil. Miles Martin, thanks for the reminder. Jim Bort, line now, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Yep, all the buttons. John Brown, nope, that is Chicago prediction. I'll take that. Tom, go Lions. Been waiting for 60 years to this happen. Go Lions. Go how? All right, I'll go with that. Yes, let's go ahead and get that win. Lionel, great salutations. Duke Crew, exclamation mark. I think we're cool as is for now. Let's save the money for next year. Signing Z is probably coming back. Lightning and Thundercats. Oh, yeah, it could be that's what Brad Holmes wants to do. Maybe not acquire somebody else to use some of that available cap. Maybe try to push all that cap in the next year and use it on players. Coach Roy, happy anniversary, Johnny L. 100% with that, 100%. Madly Hassanin, hi everyone. I'm happy to announce that my son Ahmed Hassanin is going to get married. This month, 7/12. For like Ahmad's add to wish and pray for him good luck in his new life and career. Hey, he's got everybody in the Duke Crew wishing and praying for him. And again, congrats to you, the family, on the marriage. That's awesome news. And thoughts and prayers for it. Be a blessed wedding. Ziggy and friends, good morning. Captain Dan and the Duke Crew, back at you, my friend. Always a pleasure to have you in the chat. Lionel, woo, congrats. Agreed with that. Dominic, good morning from Texas. Good morning to you. It's earlier there than it is here. One pride. Congrats, Ahmed Hassani and fiance. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and thanks for announcing that. I hope they have a phenomenal wedding and just a blessed future with them. Rolando Dos, what would be nice, but we already have one of the big contracts to take care of. We can't afford him. I would say, yeah, you would really have to Scooby-Doo it to acquire him and keep him. Thomas, get ready because within the next 2 years, we're going to have to let because of cash one of our great players go pick one. Yeah, it's probably at some point we're not going to be able to sign them all, right? Orlando, congratulations on the Ahmed and family. Yeah, 100%. Congrats on the wedding. Kerry, we'll get Watt when we get Darnold. Ooh, maybe we will. Henry Moore, congratulations, Mr. Hassanin, and to you and your son. Go Lions, 100%. Great way to start his career and his future life. Miles Barker, best wishes to Ahmed Hassanin. Madly, love is great. It ain't wrong. Yeah, you are 100% right. It is great to have love. Johnny L, good morning. Dan and crew, exclamation point. Have a great day. Same to you, my friend. Silver Server, 2 more weeks before rookies on the field, so we'll finally get over this off-season news, and no, Myles Garrett is not coming here. Yeah, probably not. He signed a new contract. Ziggy and friends, go Lions, one pride, back at you. Kerry, morning is Gaz Band. The Gaz Band is in the house. Yeah, 100%. Miles Barker, hiya, Johnny Mac, Grit, brah, exclamation point, laughing out loud. PLC El Curvo, good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. Same to you, wherever you may be. Make it a great day. Phil, Kevin Shepard is a linebacker coach. AG is a defensive back coach. Looking for some more creative linebacking groups. 100%. Yeah, I think he's going to pull some rabbits out of the hat. Miles Barr, I think Carl is 8 hours ahead of us. Yeah, something like that. I don't remember the math all the way in the top of my head. I know that India is, 9.5 hours ahead of us, so you're probably right around there, Miles Marker. PLC El Curvo, good morning, Coach Dan Duku. Go Lions. I can't wait for the season to start. Me either, man. I think we're all chomping at the bit for it. Walt, let's see, good morning, Coach and Duku. Woo, made a live show. Congrats, and always good to have you in the show, my friend. Miles Barker, Grit, good morning, PLC El Curvo. Miles Barker, hiya, and yay, Walt Marks. I'm down with that. Walt Marks, I would like to be nominated for Matthew Grace for the Hall of Fame. We'll try to nominate it. I got to come up with some stuff for that. Superstar, hey, Coach, we have heard so much about TA being beat, especially at the beginning of the season, but listen to this. I heard that TA played more snaps in man coverage than any other cornerback in the NFL. Yeah, some of that was scheme. Some of that was faith in his abilities, and I think we all agree, as you watch the year evolve, he evolved quite exponentially. Miles Barr, OFC, perhaps we could have both Duke Crew Hall of Fame and Duke Crew Memorial Hall. All right, could be. Walt Marks, yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Server, okay, rookie struggles, but look at how the Texans quarterback did as a rookie. Look at Daniels, look at Bo Nix. JJ could surprise with the Vikings. Let's go Detroit. Could just do that. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with McCarthy. I personally hope he struggles, but that's for selfish reasons. Phil, what about Anzalone? I haven't heard anything new. Unless I've missed it, there hasn't been anything news. Miles Bark, good morning, Rocky. Beautiful morning, 100%. One pride. Morning, Coach Dan Duke. Been a bit since I caught your live. Hope everyone's doing well. Exclamation point. Let's go Detroit. Hopefully you're having a great day and a great start to your week. And don't forget, it's the start of the NFL season later this month. Dave, laughing, never going to happen. We can't pay him in Hutch. Dumb conversation. Yep, I'll go with that. Miles Margaret, one pride. Glad you could make it. I concur. Jim, what do you got? Trey H is still available? Still is, yes. Could you get him for less than TJ Watt? I don't know. Superstar. Love it when Coach can read all of our comments. This is what makes it unique. This and the coach, of course. I'll take that, and thank you for that. It's just, hey, sometimes, I can't get through them all. I do the best I can to try to get through all the comments. Phil, looking forward to your live play-by-play. Coach, it's the best. Yeah, and we're going to try to add some more stuff to it. That'll be the nice thing about the preseason games. We'll get to work on that a little bit more ahead of time. Yeah, I enjoy the play-by-play. I miss doing that stuff. Hey, more, a glorious day to you all, and same to you. All right, guys, I'll go ahead and get out of here. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Also, if you're checking out, hit the thumbs up button. Be a good human being. Do something kind for someone you don't know. If there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible. Otherwise, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be kind to others. And I'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody. You're still here? What are you doing here? It's over. The show's over. Go home.